we first met, I took Damon on a recruiting trip. Me and Brian Williams went to see 2 Live Crew in Tucson, and you know, it was all right.
That doesn't sound too quiet.
Yeah.
How would you describe each other to other people?
I guess you can tell by the way we room together when Damon's always ironing his clothes, and you know, it takes 50 minutes to take a shower. You know, goes through his routine.
Does he really carry an iron on the road?
I definitely iron my clothes.
Why don't you get him dry cleaned?
No, I iron them myself. You know, if I want to crease, I like to crease my pants myself. I just like to iron my own shirt because I'm scared that somebody else doesn't know how to do it the way I do it. So I like doing it myself.
Damon, is this guy a slob?
No, I wouldn't say he's a slob. See, Khalid is the type of person where nobody sees him behind closed doors, but every now and then he be putting a little iron over his pants, ironing his shirt and stuff. See, nobody sees that part of him.
Do you guys feel like you have something to prove? Was it fair that people criticized the last 2 years?
I think that this year we've silenced all our critics, and yes, you know, I still think that we have something to prove, you know, because everybody's kind of writing Arkansas into that Monday night game, and you know, we feel that they still got a game to play on Saturday, and a tough game at that.
Speaking of Arkansas, you're not known as a big fan of someone who watches the game. Can you name 3 players from the University of Arkansas?
Me? I'll probably get the last names, but...
Go ahead and try.
Williamson.
Okay.
William.
Khalid!
Stewart. I got another one.
What about the backcourt?
What's the big dude's name?
Beck.
Corey Beck.
Well, he definitely knows them by now. I asked Khalid if he minded if President Clinton were rooting for Arkansas, and he said no. He said, I'm sure President Clinton has been wrong before. Pat?
All right, Leslie, thank you. We've been talking about those 2 guards for 2 weeks. They're great.
Very polite-looking guys out there in that interview setting. But, Pat, on the basketball floor, these 2 guys know nothing about, in the vernacular, know nothing about the back down at all on the basketball floor.
All right, we're delighted, by the way, to welcome a man who led 2 teams to the Final Four, Providence and Kentucky, Coach Rick Pitino. And although I think you'd rather be down there coaching than up here, we're happy to have you here. And the Wildcats played in 3 of you played 3 of this year's Final Four teams.
Yes, we have, and they're all outstanding. They're tough in their own rights. They do certain things extremely well.
Ricky, I know last week in the studio we talked a lot about the Arizona guards and how maybe America wasn't aware of their defensive capabilities. They're great steal artists, if you will. Let's talk a little bit today about how they are, I think, the most complete package of guards in the America.
No question about it, JB. Great offensive talents as well as on the defensive end. Great players in this setting, when everybody knows what offense you're going to run, have to create their own shots for their team. These 2 gentlemen can do that.
All right, now, Khalid Reeves certainly one of the very best at it.
Yes, here's a broken play. The man with the basketball is going to pass it to the high post. They're going to look to go back door, and that's going to break down. Now, as he passes the basketball and goes back door, Khalid Reeves is going to come off for a handoff. The play breaks down. Great players now can take over and make their own shot. Here he goes in the lane and showcases sheer power for the easy 2 points.
Now, we also talked a little bit about Arkansas. Again, the outside perimeter game, very, very strong, but inside, their guy, Corliss Williamson, I think probably the 3rd best player in all of America.
Big Nasty is the best in the low post, the second coming of Charles Barkley.
He is a great player. Now, here you see him running the lane. Right here, Corliss Williamson now will outrun the people, but Michigan does a great job of getting back. He'll run the lane and take off. As he runs the lane, you'll see him post up in the lane in what we call a duck-in move, but you'll notice there are 4 defensive players around him. And now he makes the big-time move in the lane.
Now, again, we've talked so much also about the depth that this Arkansas team has, and maybe it might be an advantage in wearing down Arizona. Is a quality depth on the part of Arkansas?
I don't believe in this setting it is, JB. The timeouts are longer. There's too many breaks. You don't get tired in this environment right now because there are too many dead points in the game.
And again, we talked about how those 2 guards from Arizona know nothing about, in playground vernacular, backing down from a challenge.
No, I think these young men want to prove something today. Each one of these teams has something different to prove.
All right, Ricky, thank you very much.
All right, good job, guys. By the way, the president has now arrived, and a short time ago, President Clinton has arrived to celebrate his Arkansas's arrival into the Final Four and root for them Hogs. And he created a little bit of a commotion here, but I think the fans are happy to have him here, and we'll see him throughout the game. Next up, we'll look at a player who's already had his number retired, but is still seeking to grant his coach and teammates a championship encore. Stay with us. Head coach, the other Florida head coach, Steve Spurrier, watching his Gators, you believe it, JB, football practice on the campus today.
They need Dimitri Hill out there.
Now we want to get Coach Pitino in. What do you think of these skills here, Coach?
It's interesting. They're throwing a basketball, which is the correct thing to do. Move over football. The SEC is now a basketball conference.
I wonder how much that point costs her, 2 or 6. We'll find out. Later today, Florida will play Duke, and while the Gators are first-timers here, the Blue Devils are competing in their 7th Final Four in the last 9 years. And JB, how important is the edge and experience, do you think?
Very critical. And when it comes to experience, no one is more seasoned than Grant Hill. Last weekend, he shut down the Naismith Award winner, Glenn Robinson. On the court, Hill is aggressive, focused, and indeed tenacious. Off the court, he shows a different facet of his personality.
Learning to play the piano was interesting to watch Grant.
You know, from the day he was born, I was proud of him.
He was born to play, it seems, whether music or sports. He was born into a family of achievers, a family that had similar, if not even higher, hopes for him. His mother, Janet, is a mathematician trained at Wellesley and the University of Chicago. His father, Calvin, was a star at Yale and with the Dallas Cowboys, and their legacy was imprinted on this only child.
Just think my parents, you know, they've been there, the backbone for me. They've taught me right from wrong, and they've taught me one thing that is not real popular for men to be in this day and age, and that's sensitive to other people. And that's something I've always been, and always been concerned about my friends and my coaches or my teammates or whatever. And something that, you know, I think it's a pretty good trait to have. I don't know.
Grant developed his winning traits growing up in Northern Virginia, where family values were stressed, and his mounting athletic and academic achievements were kept in perspective by his parents and by his coaches, who admire him as much for his character as for his skill.
I call him Mom's apple pie, and that may sound corny, but I feel that, you know, he's a mom apple pie type of guy that is just the type of kid that I would like my son to grow up to be like.
Grant Hill will make the inbound play. So they throw it to the left of the floor. Leitner catches, comes down, dribbles, shoots,
I love Grant. There haven't been human beings, too many of them, like Grant Hill. And I feel so fortunate to have had an opportunity to have some impact on his life, because he's had an impact on my life.
The most memorable moment for me has been, or was, seeing Grant's jersey and number retired at Cameron Indoor Arena.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would have a son who would achieve what he's achieved on a basketball court, and that makes me proud.
It's truly been everything and more than I ever expected. You know, I kind of feel as if, you know, my career here at Duke is kind of like, it's been a dream. And I've been sleeping for 4 years, and hopefully I'll sleep for another weekend and won't wake up for at least till next Tuesday.
That sensitivity we heard Grant Hill talk about, he got from his father, who last week when he saw Grant before the Purdue game, he showed that sensitivity when he asked Grant, I understand that you are defending Glenn Robinson. Do you really think that's a good idea?
Well, that's tough to do, but it just showcases what a great basketball player he is. He's not only the best offensive weapon, he's also the best defensive as well.
And his mother's college roommate is in the building, Hillary Clinton. We'll have more on the Final Four show from Charlotte right after this. Stay with us. It's Final Four Day here on CBS.
Today, the McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game, Sunday on CBS.
The net beneath the basket, the modern-day successor to Dr. James Naismith's Peach Basket. The net costs about $12.95, but when one of the Final Four teams cuts it down on Monday night, it will be priceless. Actually, each of the Final Four teams cut down the nets last weekend at their respective regional finals. And by the way, whatever happened to those nets? The Florida Gators earned their first trip to the Final Four. They're new to this net-cutting stuff. In typical rookie mistake, they left one hanging. The Arkansas Razorbacks got both nets. In fact, Corliss Williamson and his Hogs presented one to injured teammate Roger Crawford. Way out west, Arizona snipped away, but guess who walked off with that prize?
Oh, no. To tell you the truth, I think I seen our Coach Olson had one of the nets.
I think I gave it to our equipment guy. I'm not quite sure.
Sorry, Luke, that doesn't look like the equipment guy to us. And how about Duke? It looks like they've done this before with Grant Hill in the middle of the latest whodunit.
I don't know what happened to Grant Hill's net. He had it around him. I'll have to ask him about that.
I took it home. I think the people at Duke are probably looking for it. I probably shouldn't say where it is, but it's at home.
Forget about the missing net, Grant. We want to know where you're going with the ladder. Well, in the game of basketball, you could always use a little more height. Coming up, game one of our national semifinals doubleheader, Arizona and Arkansas. Jim Nance and Billy Packer will join us from courtside with the action, and we'll all see you back here at halftime. Enjoy the games, everybody.
On News 4.
It is the pulse of the game.
Arkansas racing now. For 51 kids, now young adults, their playground dreams have been answered. They've arrived at college basketball's greatest stage, the Final Four. Here in Charlotte, Arizona and Arkansas in one semifinal, followed by Florida and Duke. But first, it'll be Arizona and Arkansas. Many feel the Razorbacks the heavyweight here at the Final Four. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Nance, and welcome to CBS Sports coverage of this grand event. We have two outstanding teams here in the first game. The one seed Arkansas out of the Midwest, and maybe underappreciated Arizona, the two seed in the West. Let's show you the roads here to Charlotte, how they got here. First, Arkansas through Oklahoma City, beat North Carolina A&T, and then knocked off John Thompson's Georgetown Hoyas. On to Dallas, taking out Tulsa, and then beating Michigan in the regional final. For Arizona, their travels began in Sacramento. Again, the two in the West. First, they defeated Loyola of Maryland, then Virginia. They've really shut them down defensively. The opponents have only shot in the low 30s. Missouri, the one seed, went down by 20 to the Wildcats. As they now leave the locker room and head to the floor here at the Charlotte Coliseum. Billy Packer in his 20th Final Four. Billy, let's talk about some of the stars we're going to be seeing. Corliss Williamson, we've been talking about him all week. And what about the Big Nasty, as they know him?
Well, Jim, you don't get to a tournament final like this without having a super player, and all four of these teams do have that. For Arkansas, it's Corliss Williamson on the inside. A power of strength, a young man who started his career at Arkansas with an injury that sidelined him. But this year he's been the SEC Player of the Year, has been phenomenal in the NCAA tournament play. Actually, right now is ahead of Bill Walton all-time in field goal percentage shooting. Certainly a superstar, and here we see him finishing it off with a break. Not only is he strong, but he can run as well.
He can run the floor for sure. And now Khalid Reeves, here's a young man. We talked so much about the Arizona backcourt. He had 40 points in a game this season against Michigan. He can fill it up fast.
He really can, Jim. This team is blessed as Arizona with a great backcourt, an explosive backcourt, and of course in Reeves they've got one of the best in the country. He knows how to go ahead and penetrate with a dribble. Excellent on defense, a great pull-up jump shooter. And today, if you're going to balance off the power of Arkansas in the inside and you're Lou Olson, you want to have that great backcourt on the outside, and he's got it.
Billy, Arkansas has tremendous depth. They don't really have any senior influence on this team on the floor, but they play together as a team with such chemistry. You'd think they've been playing together for years.
Well, they really do. Even against the well-calculated defense of Michigan, and you're going to see the doubling down technique with Juwan Howard in the low post. Watch how the good teamwork of Arkansas sets up a great play. Pass goes to the inside. There's the double team. Great rotation and teamwork by Arkansas. And Scotty Thurman finishes it off at the end with a 3.
Now that backcourt from Arizona. Give us some X's and O's to look for the Wildcats back there.
Well, coaches can set up any kind of plays they want, but when you have players like we talk about in the backcourt for Arizona that can dribble, penetrate through the defense on their own, you have an offense all in itself. And there it is, Stoudemire with penetration, then Reeves with penetration and 2 points. That's something Arkansas will have their hands full with today.
Hey, Missouri's coach, Norm Stewart, was just named the AP Coach of the Year. He played these two teams, and he gives us a scouting report on this game.
Clubs, Arizona and Arkansas. Here's what I think Arkansas has to do. They have to really control Arizona's guards, and they have to go inside. They can do that because they can create mismatches with all the size that they have. Arizona, they've got to protect themselves on the inside, and it's really going to be tough for them. And the guards, they have to have a great ball game, but they're capable of doing that. Which one would you pick? It really comes down to this. Good players, but the guy that's closest to home in basketball a lot of time has the advantage.
All right, which one will be the A team? Arizona and Arkansas lineups are coming up next.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1994 NCAA Basketball National Semifinal game is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, and performance are never optional. All Sport Body Quencher, official NCAA corporate partner. And by Hertz. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
Pay coaches millions to get their team to wear Nikes. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
When Harlan takes the stand, gentlemen, welcome to Charlotte Coliseum for the NCAA National Semifinal game between the Arizona Wildcats and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now let's meet the starting lineups. For Arizona at forward, a 6'8.5" junior from San Bernardino, California, number 22, Ray Owes. For Arkansas at forward, a 6'8" junior from Memphis, Tennessee, number 15, Dwight Stewart. For Arizona at center, a 6'9.5" sophomore from Houston, Texas, number 50, Joseph Blair. For Arkansas at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Russellville, Arkansas, number 34, Corliss Williamson. For Arizona at guard, a 6'2.5" senior from Queens, New York, number 3, Khalid Reeves. For Arkansas at center, a 6'11" freshman from Oakland, California, number 44, Darnell Robinson. For Arizona at guard, a 5'11" junior from Portland, Oregon, number 20, Damon Stoudemire. For Arkansas at guard, a 6'6" sophomore from Ruston, Louisiana, number 30, Scotty Thurman. For Arizona at guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Santa Ana, California, number 44, Reggie Geary. For Arkansas at guard, a 6'2" junior from Memphis, Tennessee, number 14, Corey Beck. Coaches for Arizona in his 11th season, Lute Olson. For Arkansas in his 9th season, Nolan Richardson.
All right, Billy Packer, some of the keys to look for in this semifinal game.
Well, Jim, if you're sitting home and you want to be a coach, there's some early indication of what's going to happen. Owes and Blair, I think that they've got to score 15 points and play 70 minutes combined if Arizona's going to be in there. Arizona guards, they've got to score 47 or more points in this game for Arizona to be on track to win, in my estimation. Threes are wild. Arkansas has only lost games in which they've shot under 30% from the three-point line. If you're Arkansas, keep up with their three-point shooting. And your move. In this particular case, Nolan Richardson can make more moves than any coach in the Final Four because of the depth of talent that he has. Is he going to play big in this game and try to force Arizona to match him? Or will he go small and match Arizona? Let's see which coach has to cave in first on that strategy.
Nolan Richardson's second appearance in the Final Four. Gentlemen were selected for their fine performances in the tournament to officiate here. Rucker, Hillary, Sanzier. The 1994 Final Four is underway, and Arkansas in control first.
First interesting matchup, Geary on Thurman. They're putting Reeves on Stewart. That's the change of one coach on the matchup.
Corey Beck leaning in over Stoudemire. Gets it right back. Looks for help. Saved by his old high school teammate. Thurman over Geary. Geary is a defensive specialist, but Thurman hits the baseliner right away.
Well, there's a case where they got matched up, even though things got out of whack a little bit, and Geary still couldn't handle Scotty Thurman, who played over him. Here's the zone. Because they're going big, Arkansas starts in their 2-3 matchup.
O's in trouble, gets it back out.
Nice help by Williamson.
Reeves gets into the lane, and so pure, you'll see it today. Reeves gets Arizona's first two.
And Jim does it with dribble penetration.
Last touch by Corliss Williamson.
Now, in that 2-3 matchup zone, and we noticed this in watching Arkansas employ it in the regionals, people can dribble and penetrate through it. They kind of stand still. They like for you to hold the ball and then trap. Let's see if they penetrate again with the dribble.
Stoudemire, three-pointer short. And Geary with the quick hands.
Good block.
It's a tie-up situation, the arrow to Arizona. Two SEC teams in the Final Four. Florida will challenge Duke in the second game here. It's been a recent trend, Billy, having two teams from a conference in the Final Four. Almost with Blair tipping it. Who's missing?
Blair doing a great job on the boards, Jim, and he's out battling three men inside.
Reeves firing, missing a three. Williamson snaps it to the freshman Robinson, who will hold up for the Razorbacks.
6'10" man leading the break. Has a foul on a push. No call.
Yep, definitely pushed right in the midsection. Reeves ahead. Lays it up. Score it. And a blocking call against Arkansas's Corey Beck.
Jim, nobody playing better than Khalid Reeves in this NCAA tournament. 24, 21, 21. He's just been out. He's been out of sight in the games that he's played so far. Just to run down his scoring in the games. He had 30 points, 29 points, 26 points, and 32 points in the 4 games.
MVP performance in the West Regional, and a three-point play by Reeves. 5-2 Wildcats. And they reached in on that one.
We're already seeing some coaching moves in this game. Lute Olson has decided that I want to test and make a full-court game out of this. I want to test Arkansas's ability to beat the press. So he hasn't backed off at all to turn this into a half-court game.
That whistle was against Reeves. They double up Beck.
And I think what we're going to see is Nolan Richardson go small quickly.
Robinson, soft hook, and the freshman scores 2. They call him Tank, and he's going to be some force in college basketball, only a freshman.
He's hampered by some early season injuries. Other than that, he's been outstanding.
Geary. Thurman with the rebound. Again, they get the transition pass ahead, and last touch by Arizona.
But Jim, there's a lead pass the time before to Robinson on the break, and now a lead pass to Williamson, so the big men are getting out on the break. Now you can do that if the guards penetrate and there's nobody back for defensive balance.
Robinson, not this time, run down by Reeves.
Good hit ahead.
Geary snaps across court. Stoudemire set up. Short again.
They won't stop taking the threes, though, Jim. Arizona's broken all kinds of three-point attempt records and made records this year.
That last touch, the foot of back.
Lute Olson loved that. He wants to see a lot of pressure, defensive pressure, put on these Arkansas guards. And that's why I think Nolan Richardson is going to have to try to go small on this team.
Lute Olson's third Final Four. He led Iowa in 80 and then Arizona in 88. And there's a throwaway by Stoudemire. Where's this game headed, Billy, in terms of point totals, you think?
I think we're going to see a better flow in this game shortly. I think the guys are a little bit tight right now. But I think we're looking at a game in the 80s.
They reject it on Williamson. Some pass to Reeves, who lays it in with the left hand.
How about that? He takes the ball in on one side, puts it up perfectly with the right, comes back with a left-hand layup. Powerful driver.
He has all 7 Arizona points. Reeves. That was Robinson missing.
And you know who made that? Reeves with a great block out to open things up for Oates. There's dribble penetration again.
Stoudemire bounce passing. O's picks up the loose ball. This is the lay-in. O's was 0 for 10 against Missouri.
They're going right through that 2-3 matchup zone with dribble penetration by the guards.
And Williamson right off the front of the rim.
Jim, there's what Lute Olson looks at and said, you know, I can't go big against those guys. You know, it's got to be my kind of game. So, again, Nolan Richardson going to hang in there and say, I'll pound the inside.
Oh, gets on track, and that's probably an important one for his confidence after that 0 for 10er.
That's right. Did not have a field goal in the last ball game win over Missouri.
Williamson again down on the blocks, and you're right, Philly, starting to get a little flow now.
As we said, the guards from Arizona are going to have to offset the inside power of Arkansas. Whichever wins that battle will be the team victorious today.
O's tries it from the other side. 2 in a row.
Jimmy just had 5 points against Missouri in 37 minutes. As you pointed out, he was 0 for 10.
Robinson. Pretty good shot going the other way.
Seeing no D at this point. Teams getting whatever they want.
11-10 Arizona.
Isn't it interesting when Arkansas plays this big team, it's not 40 minutes of hell. You get about what you want offensively against them. It's just that you're not going to get many second shots. So powerful inside.
That's picked by Thurman. That's our first break at the Final Four. Khalid Reeves has Cam 7 points. Arizona leads by 1.
20-foot baskets. 300-point games. 100-yard courts. This is the future of the game because an awesome new sports drink is here. All Sport. Unsurpassed taste. A third more carbs than Gatorade for energy. This is a body quencher. After All Sport, the game will never be the same.
So look at the tournament so far.
Well, we talked about Nolan Richardson having the ability with his ball club to be so flexible. Now, one of the things that's amazing, they still are they have more depth than anybody else, but there's Roger Crawford, who would really help in a game like this. He will be out, obviously, with that broken ankle. But this team is loaded with players that can come off and change the complete complexion of how the game is being played.
Stoudemire, they gave him the 3. Gary, you can see him setting up for it. No one got a body on him.
Exactly, and the same as dribble penetration is going through the zone. That's exactly what's happening on blocking out.
And Stoudemire just strips it away from Beck. Floating in the air, he can't get the lay in.
And if you're Arizona, you want to see something drop spoon for Stoudemire. He hadn't hit one yet, putting up a number of shots.
6 minutes into this game, not a single sub so far. And a traveling call on Beck.
Now, Gary's showing you at 6'2", what a tremendous leaper. But look, nobody even blocks him out. Everybody has their head turned to the ball. Here he comes running in from about 22 feet. Nobody to stop him and way above the rim. Great play.
Talking about Crawford, Billy. Nolan Richardson at practice yesterday said we could attack more when we had Crawford. Now we'll go more zone, and look at the finger roll by Blair on the follow-up.
Again, no block out. Arkansas players not moving their feet, not playing aggressively at this stage of the game.
5-point Arizona lead. That matches Arkansas's largest deficit of the tournament. And a three-pointer at the other end by Corey Beck. Arkansas trailed Michigan at one time by 5. Arizona led here a moment ago by 5, and that's as deep as the Arkansas team has been behind in this tournament.
First move by Nolan Richardson, go to the 1-3-1 zone instead of the 2-3. Scotty Thurman came out, plays that point pretty well. That zone looked better. Williamson just knocking O's around inside.
Williamson missing, but following it up. And now he has 6.
Jim, he wanted that ball. Corliss Williamson had just taken over on the inside. Nice piece of officiating here, but he cleaned out the middle on that last play. You see him coming down. Geary trying to hold him up a little bit, hits him in the face, and that's not going to work with this young man that loves to pump iron before every game. No, that's like stopping a truck right there. And you see the move has been made now by Nolan Richardson. He's gone small.
Oh, missing on the 3, so McDaniel in for Arkansas, number 12.
Now you're going to see some more quickness, some interesting matchups.
Stewart. Don't be deceived by that size. 6'9", he can really fire it from 3. Reeves.
Tempo picking up right now as Arkansas goes small, matches up better, changes the complexion of the game with his quickness.
McDaniel. Wow, what a roll now by the Razorbacks.
And Jim, we saw McDaniel come in against Tulsa. 8 for 9 in that game. Played 23 minutes, had 19 points.
They have just exploded for 11 unanswered. Traveling on Reeves.
Beautiful defense by Arkansas on the double team. Thurman and Beck.
Timeout on the floor. 11 in a row scored by Arkansas. For Arkansas on a run, they've knocked down 3 threes in this spurt. And the Razorbacks have brought in 2 subs. A freshman, 6'11" freshman, Lee Wilson, but you're looking at another freshman. There's Wilson. You also got a glance at Alex Dillard, number 3.
Kevin Flanagan in also for Arizona, trying to give a little rest for Joseph Blair.
Over the top. Wilson hammered. And they say it'll be a 2-shot shooting situation.
Jim, some smart coaching by Nolan Richardson. I mean, he's sitting over there watching this game, and we talked about coaches having to make a decision who caves in first. And I didn't mean that as a negative. Nolan Richardson recognized they were not playing Arkansas basketball with the big team. And notice now he's surrounding with a 3 guards and 2 big man lineup and making Arizona try to match up with them. A lot more quickness on the floor now, particularly with Dillard out there with that range in his shot.
And Dillard says, hey, follow through with it.
Well, for fans that want to go to grab something to eat, don't do it when he's got the ball in his hands, because he will get a release.
Foul was on Flanagan of Arizona.
Lee Wilson just trying to get some minutes out of Flanagan.
They need to get Stoudemire started also. He missed his first 4 shots.
Great defense. Here we have. This is going to be the matchups. Man-to-man defense. Now, McDaniel is really bodying on Reeves with or without the ball. The referee's calling it tight.
First on McDaniel. 11 minutes to go, first half.
I think you're going to see a great matchup here, Jim. McDaniel and Reeves for the next few minutes. McDaniel moves the feet so well defensively. Reeves will try to beat him. Same way with Dillard and Stoudemire.
Stoudemire underneath the Flanagan. Good pass.
Great dribble penetration, beat the defense.
Williamson at the other end. They obviously saw something in the film coming into this game with that pass so quickly up court.
Breaking the big man out, whether it's a missed shot or a made shot.
Stoudemire, 0 for 5 now. O's. Did he travel? Yeah.
Felt Wilson on his back. Had to make one little extra step to get open. Not there.
And bring Joseph Blair back in for Arizona on the next whistle.
Dillard just wandering around, trying to lose himself in the pack. Nice look opposite.
Three-pointer. Followed up Wilson. Tipped in.
Terrific job by Wilson, the second jump. He didn't relax, stayed right with it.
Reeves floating in the lane.
Here we talked about dribble penetration. Isn't it amazing to see two great guards that just bust down a defense by themselves?
Dillard, he'll fire it. And that big body of Corliss Williamson just set up the follow-up on that one.
He didn't even feel Stoudemire on his arm. Just went straight up and took him with it. Beautiful.
Reeves gives it up. They call him for the charge.
Great crossover dribble by Khalid Reeves, though, on the move. Tough to break down. Watch the crossover dribble. He goes on the inside, bounces up. Williamson comes from all the way across the line to pick up the charge.
Bring in 3 subs. Lute Olson does. Joe McLean, number 15. Corey Williams, number 33. And Blair has come back in. Here's Beck for Arkansas. Thurman sits. That was, by the way, with Reeves called on the charge, his second, Billy.
Obviously, Lute Olson cannot have either of these explosive guards on the bench in foul trouble. Got a lot of time here in the first half to go. The third one would really be a tough job for Arizona to make up. Another look opposite by Arkansas.
Corliss. They can't stop him down there.
So active on the inside. A wide body with great quickness.
Williamson has 12 points, and Arizona with its largest deficit of the tournament. Down 10.
Nolan Richardson, Jim, working the referees a little bit here because he loves what he sees out there. We're back to 40 minutes of hell basketball now that he's gone small.
He's a little concerned. The second on Corey Beck. Beck with 2, Reeves on the other side with 2.
Talk about Beck and Stoudemire. Both have played extremely well in this tournament. Stoudemire averages 21 points.
Stoudemire.
Today, though, didn't he?
No. Missed 6 shots, Billy, all of them. Dillard.
With as much success as they're having inside now with Williamson, I think that shot went up a little too quick.
Corey Williams from off the bench with a 3-pointer.
Well, it's been O's and Williams off the bench making a difference in the perimeter.
And Williams with the board. Not the guys you would expect,
yeah,
Billy.
Not Stoudemire.
McLean. Oh, they say he used the free arm to push off. It goes against Arizona.
Tough call against Arizona. I thought McLean had an opening there. He can't believe it either.
Stewart returns, so does Robinson for Arkansas.
You ever see McLean going up? He gets release of the ball. Boy, they called him for the foul. I don't see it at all. That could have been the second one on McDaniel. Back to 3 big men again. Stoudemire gets right out on Dillard. Gives him no room whatsoever to shoot, no matter how far away he is.
There he is, though.
Lost him.
Whoa. Touched Arizona, they say. I thought maybe he got a piece of the leg of Wilson.
Lute Olson's going to get himself a technical foul if he doesn't watch it. He's jumping and stomping on that sideline.
Timeout on the floor. Arkansas's lead is 7.
On on CBS.
Here's the last whistle. They say it last touched Arizona.
Tim, I think it hits Wilson's hand on the way back out. Gary hit it, went off Wilson's hand. Should have been Arizona's ball. But we had 18 different looks at it from 25 different cameras, so not the same as the referee.
Oh, look at this one. Unbelievable.
Well, Reeves can't believe it himself. Despite the scouting report, he's actually laughing because he realized I was told to go out no matter how far away he was. That was way beyond the NBA line.
What would you say? That was more than 25.
Oh, yeah. I'd say, let's say 27, huh?
Okay.
Oh, how about the bench play so far for Lute Olson in this game?
That was a two-pointer.
Against Virginia, Arizona did not have one bench point.
Dillard again.
Oh, yeah. That'll extend the defense.
Nolan Richardson was asked, what's his range? He said his range is when he steps into the gym. I'm starting to believe it.
Well, he had 12 threes against Delaware State, so he's not finished yet, Dan.
They had 39 in that game. Here they snap it ahead. Dillard gets it. He traveled.
He's too close to the basket.
This is incredible.
And there's Khalid. You know, he was ready for another dribble, and he's not going to put that up. Pow, right over the top of his head. The second one is even farther out, way beyond the defense. You just can't get to a guy that's extended that far.
Billy, his story is amazing. A 25-year-old freshman who earned his high school degree through a general equivalency diploma. Here's a three-pointer by Reeves. Last touch by Arizona.
Khalid may be getting a little tired. He didn't have good leg elevation on that shot. And the guys hitting that three just seem to have bounce in the feet.
Dillard, though, to continue, Billy, he worked for 3 years in a grocery store, worked through some fast food stores, was known as a playground phenom there in the Birmingham, Alabama area. And now here he is playing in the Final Four as a 25-year-old freshman, hitting a couple of long-range threes. Arkansas only behind New Mexico and Troy State in number of three-pointers made during the season, over 9.
Jim, so far, Arizona, the team that we said is going to have to do something on the perimeter, is 1 for 10 from 3. Stoudemire still without a basket.
Robinson blocked by Blair, but they'll call Blair for the foul, and they'll jump in there in a hurry to make sure there are no lingering effects.
Well, a good defense by Blair, but he got a little bit overextended there and came down on the hand when he chopped. That's when he picked up the foul. Otherwise, he'd had a good block.
You know, Blair in this Arizona team held Cliff Rozier of Louisville to only 1 field goal in that game, in that regional semifinal. Scotty Thurman back for the Razorbacks. So is Corliss.
Well, Jim, Blair has been very solid so far in the tournament. 13-7 against Loyola, 6-12 Virginia, 10-11 against Louisville, and 9-8 against Missouri. So a very solid performance.
Shooting over 70%. There's Robinson hitting the first. All-time high school score in the state of California at the line.
3,361 points. I think it's really time for Arizona to figure out how to get Stoudemire started. Well, Jim, you're down to 6 minutes in the first half. You've got a young man that's been so important to the offense, has not scored yet. Gary can explode, can he?
He's going to explode all the way and gets the roll.
Terrific hustle.
Still, it's Arkansas by 10 with under 6 minutes to go, first half.
Arizona's been scoring most by turning that ball over against Arkansas on the defensive end. Posting up Stoudemire. There it is again.
And a hold called on McDaniel. His second. Gary read that pass, and he was on his way. That's a good foul, Billy.
A terrific play. And what he wants is intentional. What you see, Gary, is holding his pants and saying, which would be automatically and intentionally, saying, the guy held my pants, I want 2 shots and the ball back. He's still having that conversation. He's a talker, isn't he?
He is. So is Corey Williams on this team. I just heard Gary say he didn't go for the ball.
That's right. And there's that double team.
Stoudemire looking for his first.
0 for 7.
Blair picks up the loose change and brings it under 10.
Nice crossover, because I think that he would have had that shot blocked by Robinson had he put it up.
McDaniel says, hey, you going to leave me open? It's going to cost you 3.
Well, they've got so many weapons. You know, they didn't rely strictly on going to Williamson on the inside.
They strip it away from Reeves.
Good. Reeves is really tired.
McDaniel again. O's underneath.
Good hit.
Takes it home.
Gary having a very good first half on both ends of the floor.
The assist to Gary, the basket by O's. Stoudemire went for the steal. Robinson with the hook.
There's Stoudemire again. Pretty good defense by McDaniel.
Oh, feeling confident. Why not?
3 jumpers he's hit from the corner.
O's with 8 points, 3 rebounds.
Jim, you see, as soon as he shoots, Williamson takes off for the other end to try to get an easy basket.
Stewart maybe forced it. And Arizona has a break opportunity. Reeves ahead.
Tremendous finisher.
This is a burst by the Wildcats. They brought it back within 5.
Back within 5 without any 3-point shooting. And without Stoudemire having scored a point yet in this game.
They steal it from behind. It's Geary.
You gotta love Geary. What a game he's having.
Long pass. Reeves hammered by Stewart. A bounce pass that was a little low coming in there, but that's the only way I think Reeves could have gotten it ahead.
The game earlier this year where Arizona exploded and destroyed Michigan, Geary had 10 assists. And in talking to people out on the West Coast, they talk about this young man as being one of the real great defensive stoppers at his size.
They'll go small. They'll bring Beck in for Robinson.
Well, Arkansas made their move when they went small. They came back to going big again, and I think that allows Arizona to press a little bit, set the pace their way.
And they're going to bring Alex Dillard back. In for McDaniel.
I guarantee you nobody will let him alone outside this time. Well, it just floors you. You know, you see a guy take a shot with no hesitation whatsoever from that distance. You're just not accustomed to it. It's not like you practice for that type of defensive position.
Here's a guy at the line who, in a holiday tournament that included Michigan, hit 23 out of 25 from the field. 92%. And you're talking the majority of those, of course, from the outside.
6 or 7 threes in that tourney.
Arizona, 8 unanswered. Back within 3.
And now for a look.
Look of concern as Arizona has run off 8 unanswered.
Jim, I think it was kind of interesting when the president came to see Arkansas play earlier this year. Nolan Richardson said, hey, let's get those Marilyn Monroe shorts off of you that you jog in. And gave him a pair of Arkansas specials there, maybe the kind like Dillard's got that are almost down to his ankles. I haven't seen the president decked out in them, though. Stoudemire staying right with Dillard now.
Scotty Thurman been running silent so far. And a forceful rebound by Corey Williams. Underneath, Geary tried to get it inside to O's.
Really impressed by the hit-ahead passing of Geary, Stoudemire, and Reeves. Now, Reeves has taken a well-deserved rest here. He's really extended.
Three-pointer would tie it.
There's that 2-3 matchup playing out real high on these guards.
Stoudemire. And off Arizona.
Geary puts it right through his legs and almost made a spectacular save.
Final 2:37 before the half.
Jim, the most surprising thing to me with 2:37 to go is that Arizona is just 3 down with Reeves on the bench and Stoudemire without a point in this game. They are 1 for 12 from 3.
Williamson.
Pushed off by Stewart, gets away.
Geary with the tap to his teammate, and last touch by Stewart. Arizona basketball.
Well, they can thank Geary for a sensational first half. And that's all that's keeping Arizona in the game right now.
He's been in the photographer area. He's been on the press bench.
Everywhere.
Had some follow-up dunks, some great assists.
Great stamina defensively. Dangerous pass, bouncing that far across. Corey Beckhoff had his sights on it.
Reeves.
Not bouncing up on that jump shot.
Williamson backing in.
Seems like whenever he touches it, Jim, he gets any room at all, he just explodes to the basket. Arizona should keep dribbling that ball into the middle of that zone. There it is.
Yep. Geary on the wing, three-pointer off. And a push-off called.
Scotty Thurman pushing on the inside for a second. Lute Olson thought that that might have been Reeves' third.
Corey Williams will come back in. He's given them some good minutes off the bench. So Reeves will sit. 1:32 to go in the half.
And that's not only for the fatigue factor, Jim, that's to make sure that third foul is not picked up. Let's see if Damon doesn't continue to dribble into the middle of that zone.
Stoudemire has Dillard on him. And Dillard stripped it away, but saved by Geary. Corey Williams. Arkansas snaps it away, and that's a steal. Williams, in fact, smartly tipped it over to Stoudemire.
And you saw who was on that break, Corliss Williamson.
Dwight Stewart prevents the alley-oop from connecting.
You know, Jim, the last time these two clubs played was in an opener back in December 6th last year, where Arkansas, without Corliss Williamson, broke a 32-game home non-conference win streak at Arizona.
Yeah, you just don't come in there and win it,
no,
McHale, and they did that.
With a very young team and without a guy that would eventually be their star. Scotty Thurman with a big game there, 28 points.
Stoudemire.
He can't get it to drop.
0 for 9, Billy.
But he's getting the shots now that he's dribbling in the middle of the zone. Nice ball fake by Thurman.
Dillard rejected.
Geary has been amazing.
Stoudemire on the break. Off the can't get that one, but Williams follows it up.
Stoudemire just stood there, clasped his hands, saying, I cannot believe nothing will fall on this end. Has not had a half like this. But Arizona just down 3.
Beck got free underneath. They strip it away.
Geary again.
Stoudemire, can he end the half with one?
He's so happy. He just backed up out of bounds and said, finally.
What a message, too, to go to the locker room. He ties it with the 3. And his first basket of the first half.
And who starts this off with Geary, a strip defensively? Stoudemire, who had looked up at the very smart play, looked up at the scoreboard, saw the time, released the jumper, and maybe that momentum Jimmy had going towards the basket hit the 3 for him.
He had missed his first 10 shots. That's the end of the first half with the score. Arizona 41, Arkansas 41. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA basketball tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1994 NCAA Basketball National Semifinal game is sponsored by Oldsmobile, official car for the NCAA Championships. American Airlines, the official airline for the NCAA Championships. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. This is the award-winning The Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, the motor oil you can rely on and quality.
We are at halftime in the first men's national semifinal, and it's all tied, 41-41, and here's why. Folks, he was 0 for 10. Damon Stoudemire gets one from way out there, and at the buzzer, sinks it. He's 1 for 11 now. Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, along with James Brown and Coach Rick Pitino. Welcome to Pennzoil at the Half, and you and I, JB, talked about that backcourt of Arizona. We were half right. Stoudemire now 1 for 11. Shocking.
I tell you, Khalid Reeves, certainly a big plus for Arizona in the first half in terms of penetrating and doing the job against that Arkansas zone. Stoudemire, who would have thought it only one field goal, that being at the end of the first half. Coaches, I turn to you. Arkansas certainly has some vulnerabilities with that zone via penetration.
Well, they opened the zone because of the bigger lineup, and we'll see Khalid Reeves here how to attack the zone. He textbook style. Here they are, and when they attack the wing. Let's roll it. Now you see it. Dribble penetration right now is the way to attack a zone. Without dribble penetration, you will not be successful if you just rely on the jump shot. Now he goes at the seam. He throws a skip pass, and Khalid Reeves will now give you the ball fake, drawing the defenders. Then he makes a big-time move in the lane, taking on the Arkansas defenders with the great finish. This is what Arizona needs more of.
Excellent balance in terms of Arkansas's game plan, Coach, inside, outside. I tell you, I can't remember any shots being mid-range. They're either inside or behind the three-point line.
It's either a layup post move underneath the basket or the three-point shot. There is nothing in between.
And ball movement has been critical to that.
I think a great game plan by Arkansas going inside. Now we look right now, we're going to see a good half-court set. A key to any half-court set is ball reversal. Now they reverse it to the top. They create a weak side screen down by Corliss Williamson, and any good offensive play needs inside to out passing. Now they throw it inside to Corliss Williamson. 3 people will run after him in the low post. He releases it, throws it out for the great three-point shot, and to make any finishing touch on a good offensive pattern, the offensive tip-in by Lee Wilson.
Rick, now we know that Arkansas lives for the offensive spurts, the runs. You would think that Arizona ought to feel good being tied at half. What do you do? What do you tell Damon Stoudemire to get him untracked?
Well, JB, first of all, do not embrace coming back in the game by Arkansas. Do not embrace one single play. If you play Arkansas as if you're down 10, that'll be a good mindset. Damon Stoudemire's first good shot was the last one he took.
Well, all right, we'll see what happens in the second half.
Thanks for breaking the game down for us. Well, it's springtime, the Final Four, and that can only mean one thing. The Chevrolet MVPs. And yesterday, James Brown did the honors.
We conclude this year's edition of the Chevrolet Scholarship Program with the presentation of the Player and Coach of the Year awards as selected by the CBS Sports staff. And here with me to present the awards is Jeff Hurlburt, Chevrolet's General Marketing Manager. And Jeff, again, it's good to see you.
Thanks, James. At Chevrolet, we have always understood that the key to leadership in business or any other endeavor is a genuine commitment to giving people the support they need to succeed and get where they want to go. And that's why the support of higher education for this country's youth has always been an important part of what we're all about. Over the last 24 years, the Chevrolet Scholarship Program has contributed over $4.5 million to the nation's colleges and universities, helping today's most deserving students go on to excel in their chosen fields and assure America's leadership in tomorrow's global marketplace. It's in this spirit of commitment to leadership that we're pleased to make this year's awards.
Though there are many talented players this year, one player clearly dominated like no other. He's Glenn Robinson from Purdue University. A first-team All-America, Glenn is winning all major college basketball awards, including the Naismith Award. Whether it's low-post scoring, three-point shooting, or suffocating defense, The big dog did it all for the Big Ten champion Purdue Boilermakers. Glenn is unable to join us here in Charlotte. Accepting the award for him is his coach at Purdue, Gene Cady.
Please pass our congratulations along to Glenn, as well as this trophy honoring him as the Chevrolet Player of the Year.
Thank you, Jeff. I know Glenn would want to thank Chevrolet and his teammates at Purdue, and especially his mother, Christine, and his father, Mac, and his high school coach, Ron Heflin, was very instrumental in this young man being a great team player, very unselfish. And I know as his college coach, he made the team have great chemistry and togetherness.
And now the Chevrolet Coach of the Year presentation. This season's winner is Nolan Richardson from the University of Arkansas. Coach Richardson led a young group of Razorbacks past the 20-win plateau for the 7th consecutive year. This is Arkansas's second Final Four in the last 5 years, and they were the only #1 regional seed to advance to the Final Four.
Congratulations, Coach Richardson, on being named the Chevrolet Coach of the Year. And it's my pleasure to present you with this trophy and an award in the amount of $2,500 for the University of Arkansas's General Scholarship Fund.
Jeff, on the behalf of the University of Arkansas, my basketball team, and all the great fans in the great state of Arkansas, we certainly appreciate the generous gift from Chevrolet CBS, and most of all, we certainly appreciate the things that you've done in the past for college basketball.
Thank you, Coach.
Let me add my congratulations to both Nolan and Glenn. And thanks to you, Jeff, for your continued support of collegiate athletics and education through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program.
Was Nolan wearing those red shoes he's got on today?
Understated elegance that day, Pat.
We add our congratulations, of course, as well to the Chevrolet MVPs. And again, a reminder that Florida and Duke are still to come in Game 2 this afternoon. Coming up, we'll send you back down to Jim and Billy. But first, thanks for watching the Pennzoil at the half. We'll see you back in between games. Enjoy the second half, everybody, here on CBS.
Pennzoil at the half was sponsored by Pennzoil, the motor oil you can rely on for performance, protection, and quality.
94 NCAA Championship video by calling 1-800-747-7999. It's all here, from the excitement of the opening rounds to the drama of the Final Four. That's 1-800-747-7999 to get your official copy of the 1994 NCAA Championship video.
Relive the color and excitement of the 1994 NCAA Final Four by ordering this year's official souvenir program. The 224-page magazine is loaded with team information, NCAA records.
There's stickers on my car. What a deal. Now, you can't get Kendall at the price I do. But right now, you can get $3 off a case. And Kendall will throw in a racing cap with my name on it. $3 off, a racing cap, and no stickers on your car. Now, that's the deal. Kendall Motor Oil. Hey, man, buy it at these locations.
Over the years, the resale value of the Lexus LS has been extraordinarily high, which is one reason why its lease payments are noticeably low.
Arkansas with the first possession of the second half.
Arkansas starts small, Jim, so I think Nolan Richardson saw what he wanted. He wants to play a faster tempo game the second half. Corliss Williamson down in too tight.
That worked all first half long. He has 16 now. They start out small, you say, Billy, with McDaniel, another guard in, instead of Robinson, the 6'11 freshman. Stoudemire, right where he finished the first half with another basket now.
Nice pull-up. He takes the drive, penetrates, forced the defensive man to go back up, and then he pulls up for the jumper.
He thought he had been fouled. He's looking around, but no call. Now Arizona with a chance to take the lead.
Stewart threw O's to the floor, no call.
Stoudemire, three-pointer.
He can get a better shot than that. Rick Pitino made a good point. The best shot that he took was the last shot. He has to look for good ones when you're off a little bit like he's been.
Arkansas ball.
You'll see the play I'm talking about. Stewart got tangled with O's, and watch Stewart. He just stays with him and finally just throws him aside.
Beck rejected, but fouled. Pushed with the body, I believe, Stoudemire.
Took him one-on-one, just overpowered him on the inside. You know, Jim, it's interesting to look at Beck right now. 190 pounds,
still a very solid player. It's hard to believe that at one time last year he reported at about 220. There's a lot of swimming, a lot of exercising, and changed his diet to get down to this very trim look.
Well, he worked out all summer long and lost weight along with his current teammate, high school teammate as well, Dwight Stewart. They also went to junior college together, South Plains, Texas. Out of Memphis, those two. Beck with one more.
We talked about all the recruiting stories. It was Beck that had to convince Nolan Richardson to let Stewart come along with him. Here's Stewart's the starter in the Final Four 2 years later. There's that footwork of McDaniel.
Stoudemire. He's taken all of their shots in the second half. McDaniel slipping, still pass to Williamson and one.
Now, Gary realized he made a mistake at the end. There's no way that he can go up with Williamson, an uncontested break. He just overpowered him. He got there too late, picked up a cheap foul. Great job by McDaniel to push that ball ahead, even though he was falling to the floor. And here you'll see Gary, when he realizes who it is he's going to try to stop, he said, oh, what in the world am I doing there against that guy? Look at him.
He knew it right away, like I said. 46-43 Arkansas. Razorbacks only 2 out of 7 from the free throw line.
I think Stoudemire would be better off dribbling inside and passing the ball out to Reeves.
Hose hits it home.
Good interior passing.
Hose has 10.
Well, Lute Olson is certainly getting it from Blair and Olds on the inside. We talked about the number of minutes and points they have to put up. They're right on schedule.
Thurman, 3. Beck with the body took Stoudemire to the floor. And that's 3 on Beck.
He was just too strong, knocked Stoudemire out of the way. It wasn't that he had bad position. And here we see the shot chart. We talked about being on schedule, and you can see the Arizona backcourt at 9 for 26, not there, and there's a big mistake, a turnover for Arizona.
Inbounding the ball. Blair did not have both feet out of bounds when he inbounded it. He walked right onto the floor, and watch him here.
Referee hands it in.
Moment ago.
Yep, we saw that earlier in the NCAA tournament. Can't step in.
This time, called on Beck again. 2 quick ones, and now he has 4. This is a serious problem for Arkansas.
It really is, Jim. And what's amazing there is Corey Beck is just too strong for Stoudemire, so when he touches him, it actually moves him out of the way, and he got 2 cheap fouls. He makes a move to the referee. Better be careful.
Yeah.
Yep, did you see that? He almost picked up a technical and be unsportsmanlike for that kind of gesture. That would also count as a personal. He'd be out of here. That's what's there. Dribble penetration and dish.
Blair rejected. O's out into the line for a couple. So this Arizona team has fought back. It's a team that really bonded together last spring, last May, June. They took a 3-week trip to Australia. And we see Dillard coming in, Beck out with the 4 fouls. And they all, that Arizona team, they all will point to that trip down under as the thing that really got the whole process started.
And particularly the coaching staff, Jim, because this is an Arizona club that really changed the philosophy as to how they played basketball. In recent years, we knew about the power game from Lute Olson's club, going inside. So many outstanding interior players. So he had to go to a guard-oriented offense, and to have that opportunity to go almost a month, put that offense in and watch it work was important. They won 9 out of 10 games in Australia, most of them which they scored over 100 points.
While they were touring the country, there was another college program also over there, the University of Florida. And now here they are 10 months later in the same part of this country playing for the national championship at the Final Four. Stewart, too strong. And a push-off called against Arizona this time.
I think that's going to be Geary. Now, he had to work too hard to knock Williamson out of the game. This game is being called very close now. These players are going to have to be aware of it. We're going to have more than just Corey Beck on the sidelines.
So 2 on Geary. Dillard. Williamson fouled by Blair. So a lot of whistles here, but that one goes against Blair, his second. Arizona with a 1-point lead.
Corliss Williamson having an incredible NCAA tournament, other than Juwan Howard probably playing better than any interior player. 24 against North Carolina A&T, 21 against Georgetown, 21 against Tulsa. And then in a very unselfish performance against Michigan, had 12, 6 rebounds, but was willing to give it up on all that double-down defense.
As the current best ever field goal percentage in the NCAA tournament, he's moved past Bill Walton. Only 2 games this year under 50% from the field. He now has 20 with 8 rebounds and puts Arkansas back in front.
And you see, even though they're small now, they're playing that 2-3 matchup. Penetration available.
Reeves gives it up a little too strong on the pass to Blair.
Jim, I really fault Blair on that one. His feet were moving. He had to realize on that penetration the pass was coming, and he didn't set himself down to make the catch.
Blair came around this time to deny the entry pass.
Well, he made up for it there with some good footwork.
Geary now pulls up. Stoudemire, he'll take it. Oh, he'll shoot 2.
So quick on that penetration.
Can you sense now he's starting to feel like he's into it?
Well, you know, again, you look up there, if you're Lute Olson, you look at the scoreboard and say, hey, my guards have not exactly exploded, but I'm in this game.
That's the 3rd, by the way, Billy, on Dwight Stewart. So a couple of Razorbacks in foul trouble, mainly Beck with the 4, who's on the bench. Robinson in for Stewart.
And, Jim, you made a good point in the first half. Not only is Beck on the bench, but Crawford is on the bench.
Makes a big difference.
Exactly, and you're taking away the great depth now because of foul trouble that Arkansas had at its advantage. 2 of its premier guards, particularly defensively, sitting down.
For the first time today, Davor Rematz in for Arkansas.
Rematz, though, replaces a shooter in Dillard, so they actually lose a little quickness here. And I don't know how they're going to match up that backcourt quickness of Arizona now defensively.
Rematz, a junior from Croatia. Stoudemire, 1 more for the lead. 49-48 Wildcats.
And the other thing, this requires Scotty Thurman to be the primary ball handler on this team. Rematz is a shooter. McDaniel primarily a shooter and defender.
Thurman and Reeves in there with the big guys to pull down the board. Goes behind the back to get away from McDaniel. Blair fighting for it, and that's a tie-up. The arrow remains now. Basketball for Arizona.
Well, we know how strong Williamson is. Blair stayed right with him.
Timeout on the floor. Arizona by 1.
NCAA Basketball National Semifinal Game is sponsored by Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. Sprint. And by Ice Draft from Budweiser. Taste the future of draft beer.
Well, here's a guy that was 3 times the most outstanding player at the Final Four. Kareem, watching.
Going to be honored tomorrow evening on the Silver Anniversary team, selected for the 5 guys who not only excelled while in school, but thereafter. Mike Krzyzewski will be coaching in the 2nd game, another member of that Silver Anniversary team.
Great passing by Arizona out of the timeout. Geary with the assist to O's, who has 14 and 8 rebounds.
Jim, Arkansas in some real difficulty now with Corey Beck on that bench, because they've got to look for some leadership, and they're not getting it.
And that's going to be called on Robinson.
And what we see right now is that with Beck on the bench, if you talk about matchup situations, the fact that there is no quickness on the court defensively now for Arkansas, which means that Arizona, with the great quickness in the backcourt and Geary, are going to about get what they want in penetration.
Arizona down 12 at one point in the first half, now leading by 3.
And they're going against the 1-3-1 matchup zone. Olin Richardson trying anything he can to get some defense.
Reeves, 3-pointer. Rematch, long rebound.
Khalid did not look at the basket that time. He was looking at the defender coming at him. Took away his concentration.
Almost got the steal at the other end. McDaniel. Stoudemire. What quick hands, huh, Billy?
Quickness is taken over size.
Tough pass inside to Blair, and
again, Blair's got to move his feet to come to that ball. The guards are making good plays. The big men are not coming to the ball.
Thurman.
He's a great one, isn't he?
He really is.
He senses right now the same thing we do. Something's got to happen for Arkansas to turn this around. Scotty Thurman, very underrated player nationally, one of the best in the country.
Wildfire from Dillard range.
Yeah, wide.
Rematch, three-pointer. Robinson stripped away, back to Thurman, to the line for a couple. And there's a little jawing going on here.
Again, that last shot by Damon Stoudemire. He's having a game that's not going his way right now. And yet he takes a bad shot like that when his team is starting to get some momentum. And he's going to come out in six where they went out early with some outstanding clubs.
It was interesting. The last time Lute took Arizona to the Final Four, they had 3 straight years where they'd lost in the first round. Then they went in '88, and then here they come in after the 2 straight first round knockouts.
So Arizona had, in 15 years, 7 years, they've been knocked out in the first round.
Stoudemire. No foul called.
Blair meant all business on that one. He went down. That was Corey Beck, who probably can't believe himself that he's still out here playing, having picked up his 4th foul a long, long time ago.
Arizona calls the timeout. 4 seconds to go. We'll be right back. Arkansas heading to Monday night's final. And backstage and really waiting to get out there. Not expecting that last timeout, the Duke Blue Devils.
Well, the Blue Devils very much acquainted with this facility and with the Final Four.
They're not really
not very successful here.
No, not successful. 6-4 Duke all time in this building.
As a matter of fact, it was only a matter of weeks ago that they were in this building playing in the semifinal round of the ACC tournament, and Virginia sent them home. And what was interesting about that trip, Mike Krzyzewski, who is so close to his ball club, didn't ride on the bus back to Durham. Guys, let's have a senior meeting, and you can ride on wheels yourself. And some of the seniors say that that was a very interesting trip.
We'll see Duke in a few minutes. Now the final seconds here. Dillard to fire one more. No basket at the end. 9-point margin. The difference. Nolan Richardson will play for the championship Monday night. And we know one person will be coming back. So Arkansas is one victory away from what they call hog heaven. They'll play for the title Monday night right back here. When we come back, Pat O'Brien and James Brown as we continue here from Charlotte.
The Razorbacks were razor sharp today, beating Arizona 91-82, and they advance to Monday's game, the championship game, our first team to advance on this Final Four Saturday here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go back down on court now to Jim and Billy.
All right, we're joined by Nolan Richardson and Corliss Williamson. Corliss with 29 points, 13 rebounds. Corliss, you guys trailed by 5 with 8 minutes to go. What turned it around for Arkansas?
Well, think we just started playing better basketball. We picked up our intensity, and we want to go to the final game, so we just had to pick it up and move our game to another level.
And what do you think about playing for the championship on Monday night? How does that feel for you?
All feels great. You know, like I said before, it's a dream come true to be in the Final Four, and especially to get a chance to play in the championship game.
Nolan, how about your comments when you're down 5 with 8:25 remaining? You called a timeout during that span. What did you tell your team?
Well, first of all, you had to get back in the game. I said it all along, that you can talk about all the great guards in the country, but you don't know about what's inside a guy's heart. And that's what most of you guys talk about how they shoot and how they break. But Beck is the kind of kid that knows how to win. When he went back in the game, things changed. And I think that was the biggest lift that we could have in that particular ball game.
Billy, he said that Beck's the player that reminds him the most of himself when he played. And Beck came up big to not even foul out of this game today.
Well, in either case, Jim, I think two critical things happened. Corey being able to come back in a game, and not only come back, but be able to stay in a game and use his head. And the other thing, Nolan, I thought you did so well, is you called that timeout and said, guys, for the next couple of minutes, we're going to let this guy touch the ball a few times, and it changed the whole complexion of the game.
Well, I'm glad you recognize that, Billy. I mean, blind man could have saw that we're going to have to put the ball in the hands of the big fella. So I'm really happy and proud that you were able to see that and make that type of adjustment. Thank you very much.
And I know that comes with a little bit of a jab.
Yeah, I guarantee you it does.
All right, how about, I know it's too early to start looking ahead because you don't even know what you got to do, but what's the plan now for these guys in regard to getting ready for the game?
Well, we're going to go home and watch some of it. The guys are going to watch a little on TV. I'll watch a little half. And we came here on a mission, and so we're going to go to the next part of it. We got 31 on the jersey, which is our Roger Crawford. If we win, that's 31. Everything seems to be falling into place.
You know, I want to say something. Jim and I both brought that up about Roger. You're in a situation where we talk about the great depth you have, but at one point in the game, you've got Corey on the bench with 4. You got Roger sitting there and can't play. And that changed a little bit about what you could do.
Well, that's true, and that also changed the way we came into the tournament as it got late. I mean, we became whatever kind of team we had to play, our kids adjust and did the things that we work on.
All right, guys, you're one victory away from that mission being completed. Good luck Monday night. Arkansas heading to the championship game. We're going back up to Pat and James.
All right, Jim, we should point out that Billy Packer has never worn glasses, by the way. Our Chevrolet players of the game in a losing effort, Khalid Reeves of Arizona, 20 points, 4 rebounds, and, of course, Carlos Williamson with 29 points, 13 rebounds, and welcoming you back upstairs here, along with James Brown and Coach Rick Pitino. Coach, here's kind of an Easter version of the hog that one of the fans wanted me to pass on to you.
Right? Just what I need to sleep at night. I haven't slept in a month as it was.
What did you make of the game?
I thought it was a great basketball game. Both coaches did a tremendous job, and both teams did an outstanding job. But I really feel that the Arkansas team was as well prepared as any team coming into the Final Four.
Speaking of well prepared, it's pretty obvious that Nolan Richardson very intense, and I think also showing a lot of the frustration he's had to deal with over the years, questioning his coaching. Let's document what he did well during the game.
A blind man could see that, JB. Well, let's look at what Nolan Richardson did here. He showed more defenses in this game than any team in the tournament. Now, we go to the full court press. For the first time in this game, you see 4 people looking at the basketball, playing it. A key to any press right now is guarding the dribbler. Now you have great back pursuit as Damon Stottlemyre reverses. Now you see it here. You see right now 3 people chasing the ball, but look over here. You see Big Nasty reading the basketball right now and anticipating where the next pass is going to go. It goes under duress to the middle. Corliss makes the steal, dunks the basketball, and like sharks, they go after the ball.
Rick, you also said when we went to the halftime break that you cannot embrace any kind of success against Arkansas.
The only time you celebrate against Arkansas is a half hour after the game when you're in a restaurant having a cheeseburger.
Corey Beck, his reinsertion in the game at about the 12-minute mark with 4 fouls, you thought was a key point as well.
Big time gamble by Nolan Richardson. Nolan should not be upset because maybe the writers and maybe people out in the world have not given him the credit, but his coaches, the people in his profession, know you've got one of the outstanding people in his profession.
I agree.
You know, Lute Olson brought an outstanding team to the tournament, but they ran out of time, came up short this afternoon. After the game, he talked with our Leslie Visser, and here's how that went.
Well, Damon Stoudemire gave an emotional talk to his players at halftime. He said he was sorry and that in the second half his baskets would drop. Lute, do you feel like you just need a better effort from your backcourt?
Well, we never need a better effort. Maybe we need a better shooting
night, but you have to give credit to Arkansas on that. They did a great job of really pressuring his shot when he got into the middle with it, and they were very quick. They worked hard and they recovered well once he made the dish out. But we had him on a run for a while, and our guys felt they could get it done. But to Arkansas's credit, they turned it on when they had to. Williamson inside is a real man to deal with, and he created a lot of problems for us.
Can you put this year into perspective? You got to the national semifinals.
Well, that wasn't our goal, of course. So, we're going to have a lot of heartbroken kids in there, but the whole thing that we've talked about all year long, no one can criticize you if you play as hard as you can and if you play as a team. And these guys were picked anywhere from 3rd to 5th in the league. So they gave us 100% effort all year long, practice and games. I'm really proud of them.
It's absolutely true. Thank you very much, Coach.
Kevin Costner in the house, sitting in the Duke section there and chatting with some fans. Big basketball event, big sports fan, as a matter of fact. A reminder that Florida and Duke are next. The tip time at 8:15 Eastern time. But first, we'll get the latest from CBS News right after this message. Stay with us.